this is going to be an interesting 2 weeks with fake hockey.
Love fake hockey. It's almost more exciting than real hockey.
It's debatable, but we're going to make do with what we've got. We've got some mid-season report cards to do.
Woohoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the episode 10 of The Sauce. Tyler Dell alongside Andrew Micario. Cannot thank you enough for spending part of your day with us. This is episode 10. This is our milestone episode. 10 strong
digits,
episodes.
baby.
I don't know why people keep coming around. But, I did prepare some highlights of the first 10 episodes. So enjoy this best of clip from the first 10. Moving forward. So, like we were saying just before, we're going to do mid-season report cards, division by division. Kind of just see, we'll do a little review, how everybody's doing, how everybody's not doing. For starts, I guess we could start. I believe you had a game you wanted to play.
Oh, yeah. Let's have a little fun, baby.
Yeah, you're going to hate your end of the game. So you go first.
All right, fine. So we're going to play Guess That NHLer. We're going to have 5 hints. We get 1 guess after each hint to guess who we are speaking of. It can be an active player. It can be a retired player. But I did say to be nice if you're using a retired player.
Yeah. Okay, yes, that was the one rule. Be nice if they're retired. I wasn't nice.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Because my player's also retired.
All right, well, fair enough. All right, here we go. These hints are going to be really hard and then get super easy. Hint number 1. This player is Canadian.
Justin Bieber.
Good guess.
Very good.
Hint number 2. This player was on the all-rookie team in the 93-94 season.
You are an animal. Canadian rookie team, 93-94. I don't even know who was a rookie that year. And it's probably that's probably like violently obvious too, because there's probably like 3 good rookies that year.
Pretty sure, pretty much.
I'm just gonna throw you a terrible answer because I know it's not the answer, but I'm not gonna get it. It's not. Yager was a rookie in '90, so
no, not Yager. Hit number 3. This player amassed over 900 points in the NHL.
Okay, so if they were a rookie, if they were all rookie team in 93, 94. Canadian, 900 points. All right, so 900 points in the league tells me either they were really good, really quick, or they played pretty deep into the 2000s, early 2010s.
Good thinking. Tell you what, I'll give you a little extra. He played for his age 37 season. It's a free one for you.
I don't. I again, I'm like 90% sure I'm wrong. The 10% is just a Hail Mary.
Okay.
In 93, 94, played into the early 2010s. The only thing is I don't think he was Canadian. I don't. It's not Nick Lidstrom, is it?
No, it's not Nick Lidstrom, but I like that guess.
Yeah, I don't even think he's Canadian.
No, he's Swedish. Hit number 4. This one you may get it on this one. This player played for 6 teams, but most notably the Devils, the Stars, and the Predators.
That makes it worse. The Devils, Stars, and Predators. Devils, Stars, Predators. He played on 6 teams, but those were the 3 he spent most of his time with.
Yes, and also had for the most part his best seasons with them. Think of this player, see him in one of those 3 jerseys.
I can see him in 2 of them. I can't see him in a Predators jersey. Again, I'm throwing a Hail Mary out there. It's not Scott Gomez.
It's not Scott Gomez, but I like that guess again. All right, last hint.
Because I don't even think he had 9 points.
Final hint. This player won the Stanley Cup once, and he did that in 2000 with the Devils.
You suck. What? We had rules about this.
This is not a no-name guy.
I know it's not a no-name guy, and that's the part that's going to aggravate me.
But he's also, he's up there. He's not.
When a Devil,
he's not a household name, but he's not nobody.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you might.
Well, because if he won a cup with the Devils in 2000, that means he was not on the Stars in 99. So the Stars came after the Devils.
You're thinking.
Probably.
You're thinking.
I'm still going to. Yeah. I'm still going to screw it up. Dude, I am drawing blank. I have no idea.
Started you off on a tough one.
Yeah, you did.
This might not even help you.
Nothing you've given me has helped me.
He wore number 44 and number 19.
Yeah, that made it worse. Just tell me who it is.
Okay. The player you were looking for is Jason Arnott.
I would have never even considered that.
Those were good guesses, though. I like that.
All right. Well, now mine seems like probably child's play. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This year, they're going into their 11th NHL season.
Ready? So I got to pick from the whole team. Got it. That was what
yeah. The first question's pretty vague.
Was that Minnesota? Or were they 2000?
No, the player is going into their 11th.
Oh, I thought you meant the team. Okay.
No.
Okay, so they started.
If you get this on the first guess, I am going to lodge this laptop in the wall.
Oh, I want to get it now. Who won the 2013? Does that mean the 2013 draft?
Well, that's assuming that they started playing in 2013.
You're right. That's Jones.
Actually, no, God, no. I wasn't going to torture you like that. Okay. This is your follow-up now.
Okay.
He's going into his 11th NHL season as a second-round draft pick in 2012.
Second-round draft pick 2012. My math must be off. Okay. Was that? Dude, I hate the fact that you're giving me freaking draft hints. What's his name was the second round pick, right? Mitch Marner.
No. Your third hint. All three of their first professional seasons were spent in the minor leagues. Was not called up once for 3 years. I told you I was going to torture you.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't mean to say Mitch Marner. I hate myself. How deep are you going?
I went pretty deep into the nonsense bag for this.
I hate the nonsense bag. One of your boys, Adam Pellick?
Nope. In 2021, they signed a 4-year, $11 million contract.
$4-year, $11 million. That's $11 million total or $11 million AAV?
Total.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wow.
Well, I think there's only like 4 people making 11 AAV right now, so that would have been a pretty dead giveaway.
Yeah, you're right. Who's Damon Severson?
I didn't dive that deep into a 30 bag of tricks.
You made it seem like you were good.
All right, your last hint. 11 NHL seasons, second round pick in 2012. All 3 of their first professional seasons were spent in the minor leagues without a call-up. A 4-year, $11 million contract signed in 2021, and they have played for 3 teams, 2 of which were in the Metro.
It's not a Ranger. It's not an Islander. It's not a Devil.
Or is it?
No. I'm so confident. It's He's on the Hurricanes.
On the Hurricanes now or formerly?
To my knowledge, he's on the Hurricanes right now. Jordan Martindale.
Nope.
Oh, damn it. Who was it?
This would be Carolina Hurricanes, Pittsburgh Penguins legend, current Anaheim Duck, Brock McGinn.
I even scraped the barrel. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Well, listen,
McGinn.
It had enough time in the league and decent enough contract where I was able to. I was like, I can send him spiraling with that.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. That was good. I was so confident with Jordan Martin.
I just want you to know that I did a little bit of digging last night, and I'm going to tell you this because I'll never use it because there's no information to work with.
Okay.
My original pick, if I can pull it up because I already forgot the guy's name. Nashville Predators defenseman. Where are you? There you go. Nick Blankenberg.
What?
Yeah, I was coming for your brain today.
Yikes.
Okay. So now that we're done being children, let's get into these mid-season reporties.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Let's start here because Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. They're doing stuff.
Of the Central Division, 41 points, 17-31-7 record. Not really playing great home or away. They're doing exactly what you would expect out of a 17-31-7 team. It's worth noting that they have pretty much a terrible record. The bottom of the standings. They are top 10 in both power play and penalty kill.
Yeah. Their rebuild's going the right way. They're going in the right direction.
I'm kind of willing to give them a C on this one because although I feel like this should have been a step forward year standings and record-wise, their special teams are clearly clicking. It's kind of amazing to me that they can be in like second to last place in the entire NHL and have top 10 penalty kill, top 10 power play. Moving Taylor Hall to, I guess, recoup even just a third-round pick in that deal. And Ryan Donato, of all people, leading the team in goals.
Crazy.
I give him a C. Like, it's, not great, but they're doing what rebuilding teams should be doing. And they're doing it pretty successfully.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I ended up giving them a C-. They are on pace to have more wins than they had last year. They're rebuilding pretty nicely. I think they're doing it a little slower than people want. They just got to work on their defending and their goaltending because it's brutal. But they're going the right way.
No, they definitely are. Like we said, it's just they outside of a rebuild, obviously a lot of the things that they dealt with off the ice the last couple of years, probably set them back, made them a little less attractive, so to speak.
Yeah, of course.
Understandably. So listen, it's Chicago. They will be fine.
It's also tough when you're in the division with the Jets, Stars, Wild, Mavs.
Moving to possibly the easiest F we're going to hand out.
Disgusting.
The Nashville Predators, which is they're just 19, 28, and 7, barely ahead of they're 4 points ahead of the Blackhawks in the standings. Not great home record, abysmal on the road. Somehow they still have a well-balanced penalty kill and power play, sitting 15th and 12th, respectively. Philip Forsberg leading the charge in all scoring categories. But for a team that just got Barry Trotz as a GM, they signed Stamkos. They pried the captain of the Lightning out of Tampa, even though it really wasn't prying. It wasn't going to be that hard to do. This team started the season like what? 0-11. this team, again, Yusei Saros, Roman Yossi, Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos. They bring in Jonathan Marchessault. This team has no business sucking. Listen, like I said, this was the easiest F I could have possibly handed out in this.
Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. I mean, like, you know, the names you listed, and you are the second to worst offensive team in hockey. Blow it up. I can't even like come up with a reason that they're scoring at that low of a rate.
You have Steven Stamkos, a former, I believe, definitely a former 50-goal scorer. I'm pretty sure he hit 60 in 2012.
He might have, yeah.
You have Conn Smythe winner Jonathan Marchessault. You have a Norris Trophy winning defenseman Roman Yossi. You have a goaltender that's a Vezina finalist, I think 2 or 3 times already.
Just widely regarded as top 5 in the league.
You have a GM, you have a coach turned GM who is widely recognized as one of the top 5 of the best coaches of all time. And the fact that they haven't gone into full-blown fire sale mode yet is kind of insane. I'm going to be honest.
They're gonna. Hey, they'll be able to get some pretty good draft picks, but it's like that power play should be top 5. It's inexcusable to not be top 5.
No, I agree. I think you have. I don't even want to say depending on how the rest of the season goes, because they do not make the playoffs in any scenario out there.
Yeah, that division, absolutely not.
You figure Stamkos' contract is probably pretty easy to move after the season. It's $24 million for 3 more years.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what his trade clause is. I don't know if it's a full no trade or if it's a modified with the team list. But I think probably the only person on this team that's safe is probably Roman Yossi.
Yossi and probably Saros.
Well, yeah, I would say Saros almost has to be safe now.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't sign him to that extension, you have the ability to, you know, shift gears to Yaroslav Askarov before you trade him to San Jose. They're going to hate that trade in the future.
Yep.
But yeah, easiest F I could have possibly handed out.
He has a full no movement clause
through the whole contract.
Yep.
Yeah, they're boned. I'm doing my absolute best to try to do this in order. So,
however you dish them out, I'll listen.
Believe this would be next. St. Louis. Well, I mean, the bottom teams are. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So St. Louis. 25, 26, and 5, good enough for 6th in the division. Really abysmal special teams numbers. Sitting 23rd on the power play, 71% on the penalty kill. Jordan Kyrou leading the way in goals and points. Robert Thomas has the assist lead. I feel like, again, this is one of those teams that doesn't really have the business being as bad as they are on paper. But we've also it's well documented more than once that the Central Division is just an absolute juggernaut this year.
Yep.
I wanted to give them like somewhere around a C. I can't justify going any higher than like D.
They were difficult for me. Because when I compared them with last year, they had 43 wins, 92 points. Are they going to hit that? Probably not. Are they going to come close? Probably. I gave them a big break with the division they're in. I didn't really look at their special team stats. I wish I had. That was kind of why I gave them a B minus, because I gave them a big break for being in that division. And they're keeping pace. They're not, they're not crazy out of a wild card spot. They were difficult for me. I'll say that.
My thing with St. Louis is I'm kind of sitting. I won't give them a D or a C. I'll probably sit around that C minus, right in the middle, just because a lot of their problems are self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
Obviously not being able to hold on to a lot of their young defense, Vince Dunn being one of them, letting him go to Seattle for nothing. Recently making a trade with the Islanders for Scott Perunovich. Again, am I going to tell you that Scott Perunovich is a Norris Trophy winner? Absolutely not. But he's part of their young defense that they never really gave a fair shot to.
Yeah.
This is a team that once had Alex Pietrangelo they couldn't retain in free agency as their captain, mind you. They couldn't, they move on from Ryan O'Reilly. Like, what this team could be right now is just, it's like one of those, like, shame on yous. Like, you could have been you could be in a much better position than you are right now.
They could be a powerhouse.
Yeah, like they're just consistently shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Some things are kind of out of your control where, O'Reilly wanted out. You can't recover assets. That's fine. But this is a team like if I'm correct, St. Louis has like one of the best prospect pipelines out there, and they're just not utilizing them.
It's crazy because I was about to say, like, they're one of the reasons I gave them a better grade than they probably deserve. In my opinion, they have a terrible roster. Outside of Kyrou Thomas and Buchnevich, like, once you get past that, they're not good.
No, I mean, you have,
their top defender in points is Colton Parayko.
Yeah, and like you have some veterans around there. Like you have Nick Leddy floating around, but again, he's hurt half the season every year now, so you get nothing. You don't really get much from him.
Scooter is 90 years old.
Yeah. I
do love Alexei Korchenko. I love him.
I guess I'm gonna be the guy, and I'm sure you'll agree, and I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of hate for it. Jordan Binnington is absolutely mid.
Yeah.
He's still riding off he's still riding the high of being the 2019 savior goalie. He has
he's not that great.
Yeah, he has done nothing of worth talking about since.
Yeah, don't let his sub 3 goals against average fool you. He's under a 900 save percentage. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So, like I said, to me, it's a C. It's a C minus just because all of their issues are self-inflicted wounds. Moving to everybody's favorite team this season, we're going to talk about Utah.
Utah, baby!
24, 23, and 9, fifth in the Central, 57 points. Not the best home record, 9, 12, and 6. Says a lot about the people in Utah. 15, 11, and 3 on the road. That's very heavily attributed to the 8-game road streak they had to start the season.
Yep.
Not a very good power play. Fantastic penalty kill. Clayton Keller, for the most part, leading the charge. He's tied for goals with Dylan Guenther at 20. I give this one a B plus. but it's not so much a B plus for the players. It's more so a B plus for the front office.
Yeah, I get that.
Like the players are doing kind of exactly what I figured they would. This front office came in, they acquired Utah, and within like a week, they wheeling and dealing, making trades for Sergachev. They drafted, in all honesty, they drafted phenomenally last year. This is like everything that they are getting now is what they should have gotten when they were in Arizona. The ownership group that had them in Arizona was just a group of terrible people that did not like hockey. And don't get me wrong, just because my B plus grade is more directed to the front office does not mean that the players are not doing their job. I mean, listen, let's call it as it is. This is Arizona. They are just in Utah. Yes. And the fact that we're talking about them in the middle of February with an above 500 record is kind of amazing.
I love it so much. I mean, they're on pace right now to finish the season with about 90 points. That's possible playoffs. Their roster is the type of roster I love. Like all these young guys that are going to turn out to be studs: Logan Cooley, Lawson Krause, Brett Hayton, Clayton Keller, Mateus Michelli. I love this roster up and down. They just need to figure out goaltending a bit. Not that I don't love Connor Ingram and Karol Vejmelka, but that's the one place I think they need to really improve. And once they do that, another year, maybe two of experience under these guys' belts, they're going to be a regular playoff performer. For that reason, that's why I gave them an A-.
Listen, I'm cool with an A-. I wouldn't fight you on that. I think a lot of their goaltending issues this year come from the very long stint of time Connor Ingram missed.
Yeah, fair.
With his personal issues, I believe his mom did pass away. So those are all things that you can't really hold against them goalie-wise. Do I think Connor Ingram is going to be the long-term answer for them? I really don't. I think Connor Ingram helps get them to where they need to be. I just don't think he's the goalie that pushes them further.
Yeah, I agree.
In this situation that they're in right now, I also just don't see a situation where any goalies come up, I should say, faster. And I don't see anybody in free agency that they're going to break the bank for, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Hill, but there's no point.
Yeah, but do you trust Aiden Hill to come in, be your number one, play 55 games a year?
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's not really. You might as well just stick with Ingram or go for a draft someone or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, and I'm just going to use our teams as an example, even though I don't think it would happen. But you have, forgive me if I'm getting his name wrong, but you have Dylan Garand as a goalie in Hartford. The Islanders have Jakub Škaric, two guys who, with the extensions that Sorokin and Shesterkin have both seen in the last year or two. Two guys who are never going to see the ice in the NHL unless people get hurt. So if you're Utah, I would look for a guy like that. Between the two of them, again, just in this particular example, I would do everything I could to trade for Dylan Garand.
Yeah, I mean, as a Ranger fan, I hate that, but at the same time, we're not going to use them ever. That would be really good for them. I was kind of scrolling free agency, and I wouldn't hate them giving a small contract to Kaapo Kähkönen and just give him a shot. But no, you're definitely on the right path of trading for someone the likes of Dylan Garand.
Yeah, like you need somebody young that you're going to get in your net for 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving forward. Let's see if I got this right. Nope, one more. All right, here we go. Colorado. 33, 22, 2. Fourth in the Central with 68 points. Not really the best home record either. It seems like a lot of teams have that issue this year.
Yeah.
Very good home away record at 17-12. 16th in the penalty kill, 16th in the power play. This is what makes them a Stanley Cup contender, is the well balance in their special teams, quite literally. Nathan MacKinnon just having another unreal season where he will probably have 120, 130 points, sitting at 87 right now. Arturi Lehkonen is the goal scoring leader on that team. I don't know how that's possible because he's been out for like 4 years. Colorado is a little tricky because I do have that sense of Colorado kind of underperforming to what they should be doing.
Yep.
So to me, it's kind of like I would kind of put them. It's kind of like a B- for me.
Okay.
Again, not because they're doing anything wrong, just Colorado is just an absolute juggernaut for the last few years. Again, a team that boasts Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon, Devon Toews, Arturi Lehkonen just making trades for Jack Drury and Marty Nietzsche's. There's quite literally no reason this is not a first place team.
Yeah. I gave them a C, just due to some regression from last year. I mean, they're on pace to finish with about 10 less points than they had last year. They don't really have much business being Minnesota. That C is kind of, it's take it with a grain of salt, because I fully believe once the playoffs start, this team's just going to completely turn it on.
Which they do have a history of doing.
Yeah, I just am terrified of their goaltending, even though they made that trade that worked out so well for them. And their trade with Carolina apparently is working out pretty well. But they're at a C for the regular season for now, and then I completely am ready to eat my words for playoffs.
Yeah, listen, like I'm going B- just because it's like, okay, you made a big trade, you did what you needed to do. I don't particularly agree with trading Rantanen, but again, you have no guarantee of him sticking around. I understand that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just from a place of underperformance. Which, listen, I'd love to have a team that's 32-22-2 on Long Island that I can say is underperforming. But again, just this was like when they jumped the Tampa Bay hurdle in 2022 and they won that cup. It kind of goes without saying. Everybody was like, "All right, well, this is the next super team of the next 4 years." They have not been to the Cup final since, which sounds like it was so long ago. It was only 2 playoffs ago.
For real.
But like again, like this team just has no business not being at the top of the Central every year. Moving to,
it's a tough division, like we said. So
yeah, it's this division is just unbelievably loaded, and that's how Minnesota is able to sit third again. 33-19-4, good for 70 points. I didn't dig too deep into it yet, so forgive me if I'm giving out false information, but I'm pretty sure this is one of, if not the best road teams in the NHL.
I can tell you that in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, 27-3 record on the road. Kirill Kaprizov is leading every scoring category, 23 goals, 29 assists, good for 52 points. Worth noting, he's missed like 19 games this year. That says a lot about not only him, but that says a lot about what's going on under him. To me, personally, I think it's very easy to say that when the playoffs come around, looking at those special team numbers, that is going to be one of their largest hindrances.
Yeah.
24th ranked power play, 29th ranked penalty kill. This one again was kind of like a B for me because Minnesota, it's kind of like I don't want to say an ongoing joke, but it kind of feels like it's the same conversation every year. We talk about how Minnesota they're a good team. They have no business not being in the playoffs. They have no business being out in the first round, so on and so forth. So it's now they're filling that they have no business being in the not being in the playoffs narrative, sitting in a playoff position comfortably.
Yeah.
I worry about the future for Minnesota after this year. I don't know what their plan in net is going to be. And they're not very they don't like on the depth chart, they are not a deep team.
No. They definitely don't qualify as deep. But I can't take away the fact that they're on pace to finish with 25 more points than they had last year. I have to give them an A, but I share the exact same feelings as you that so many times I selected the Minnesota Wild to go so deep into the playoffs, and this team just looks so good on paper, and they get dummied in the first round.
This is one of those things to me where they kind of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing talent. Let me make that very clear. But they kind of remind me of the Oilers for the last 5 or 6 years in a sense of like, oh, Edmonton's a cup favorite. And they're not, I'm not looking at them as a cup favorite until they break out of the second or third round.
Yeah.
Which Edmonton had a problem doing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Edmonton comes at. Not only did Edmonton have the, not only did they finally make the Cup final last year, they were down 3-0, forced a Game 7. They were literally one goal away from the Cup. So personally, it's much easier to look at them as, like I said, a legitimate playoff team now. Not that they weren't, but I got to poke my daily fun. But it's just like Toronto, where it was the same thing. It's like, get out of the first round, people take you seriously. They got out of the first round once, got absolutely steamrolled by Toronto in the process.
Yeah.
Haven't done it again since.
Yeah, I want the team to go far so bad.
Like I said, I'm willing to be over here. Toronto's terrible. I hate them.
Not Toronto, Minnesota.
I'm willing to sit around that. Oh, yeah. Well, Toronto sucks too. I'm willing to sit around that B only because, like I said, it's just one of those like, okay, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Now prove you're that team. Again, I'm not saying I expect Minnesota to turn around and win a cup this year. But like, I need to see you go into the second round. I need you to see you force a 6 or 7 game series.
Yeah, which I mean, and right now they're on pace to play
the playoffs roll over
first round, so that's going to be crazy.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's bring up the stars. 35-18-2, second in the Central, 72 points. Again, probably the best home team in the league, 27-1 on the at home, 15-11-1 on the road. Their power play is awful.
It's not good.
Their penalty kill is fantastic.
It's so good.
Matt Duchene leading. Yeah, Matt Duchene leading the team in goals, assists, and points. I kind of, I don't know if you could tell at the bottom over there, I put Mikael Granlund in an asterisk there only because he does have 34 assists. He technically does beat Matt Duchene, but I don't think he has a point since he got to Dallas yet.
So he might have one, but yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, so like I felt like that was kind of a disservice to Duchesne to do that. I got to be honest. I was floating around a B- with this one. Looking at it a little bit more, it's hard to not give them somewhere from that B+ to A- range, seeing that one, they've had a very long stretch this year without Tyler Seguin.
Yes.
Mikael Granlund only makes this team better. It's hard to say that this is another one of those like prove it teams. They did make the Cup final in the bubble season. They're almost a lock every year to be a team you have to deal with in the West Finals. And what makes the team like Dallas more impressive than I think people want to give them credit for is because the Central is so stacked. It's not like, and please forgive me, any Blues fans out there. It's not like they're getting into the first round as the second team in the Central and they're playing the Blues every year. It's like they play team. They're playing Colorado. They're playing Winnipeg in those first, second rounds. It was like they're beating. I hate using the phrase, like Vegas. If they're when they're in the wild card, like I hate using the phrase real teams, but like they're playing legit playoff. Like people are talking about these teams winning cups teams.
Yeah, they have never had an easy run.
So I'm floating more around that A- just because when the playoffs come around, even if they do get bounced in the West Final, like they're playing the best teams you can possibly play to get there.
Yeah, I tried to put my bias aside. I still gave them an A. I think that it's almost like you're getting desensitized to how good they are because it's just like their status quo. They missed the President's Trophy last year by a point. They're on pace for 5 less points than they had last year. This team is incredibly deep. There's so many glue guys on this team. Like Evgeny Dadonov, great on the third line. Jamie Benn, a lot of people hate him. He's super polarizing. One of the best captains in the NHL. They're going to be without Miro Heiskanen for a while, and they're still going to be completely fine, and that says a lot. And then you have Jay Gottinger in the back, who's one of the best in the league.
Oh, yeah. So the main event, which was, I'm going to assume, probably the easiest A we handed out.
Yeah.
It's not even close. 39, 14, and 3 good for leading the Central Division with 81 points. I think they're on like 110-point pace. Phenomenal home record, 22, 5, and 3. Just as good on the road, 17 and 9. 33.3% on the power play, good for legitimately first in the NHL, not tied or anything. They are the best power play in the NHL. The penalty kill could be better. But I mean, listen, when you talk about playoff teams, when you talk about Stanley Cup contending teams, you're always looking at like you just have to be mid when it comes to your special teams, and it's enough of a balance to get you where you need to be. Mark Scheifele leading with goals at 31. Kyle Connor has the assists and points lead, 39 assists, 69 points. Nice. I'm giving it again, easiest day I handed out.
I gave them an A+. They're just completely, let's say, Connor Hellebuck is a demon. Kyle Connor is a demon. Mark Scheifele is apparently a demon. They're on pace actually for 118 points, which is 4 more than the President's Trophy winning Rangers had last year. They're a powerhouse. And it is their playoffs to lose.
Oh, listen, this is if there was ever a time where, like we were saying, if there was ever a time where Winnipeg, like, we always talk about how Montreal in '93 was the last Canadian team to win a cup.
Yeah.
As far as bringing a Stanley Cup back to Canada, if Winnipeg managed to be able to pull that off this year, be that team, they would be referred to nothing short of hockey gods for being the ones to bring the cup back. And the fact that they would do it, and again, please, I cannot stress this enough. You know who you are. This is not a shot at Toronto. But to be the team that does it before the Toronto super team, so to speak, can do it would be, whatever. I'll take a shot. Absolutely.
They're so good, man. Like, that the whiteouts during the playoffs when this team is that good is going to be just fantastic.
Listen, this is going to be, again, I know both of our teams are, I mean, you're more so 50-50 on making the playoffs than I am. I don't think I'm making it. But as far as not watching our teams in the playoffs, these are going to be some of the most fun games to go watch.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if we can get a Jets Stars Western Conference Final, that would be absolutely incredible. Two of the best home atmospheres in the entire league.
Two of the best home teams in the league. Two of the best hockey atmospheres in the league. That would be something. With that will conclude our Central Division report card.
Look at that.
We 8 teams down, 24 to go.
24 to go, baby.
What did we say we were doing this Thursday? We're doing
Pacific.
Oh dear, that one's going to be a riot.
And then the Eastern Conference next week.
Couple of little quick hits before we go. One thing we talked about last night. Louis Aaron officially put in his retirement paperwork with the NHL. 13 seasons spread between Dallas, Boston, and Vancouver. 1,050 games, 613 points. Have a nice life.
When he was on the
didn't
Stars.
do much else other. I believe it was Saturday. 2 milestone games were celebrated. Trevor Lewis with the Kings was celebrated for his 1,000th game, and Ryan Suter with St. Louis was honored in 1,500 games, which is
I can still play beer league hockey at his age.
He's got more NHL games at what's Ryan Suter, 38, 39?
He might be 39.
Give or take, he's around that age. He's got more games at.
He is the ripe age of 40.
He's got more games played. Okay, so he's got 1,500 NHL games played at 40 years old. That's more beer league games than you and I will ever see in our lifetimes combined.
Oh yeah, not even relatively close.
And let's just remind everybody, beer league is a lot more casual than the NHL. We're going to play beer league probably into our early 60s.
Sweating.
Well, I mean, I might. You might not.
Yeah, I do. Like, it's crazy how like you see these videos from beer league ice hockey and everyone's having fun. Like, it's competitive, but then you go play at Skate Safe and everyone's is a XD1 player trying their hardest.
Well, do you expect anything less?
No, I mean, listen, I like the competition, but oh my god, sometimes like relax. I'm 30 years old.
No other tremendous news through the weekend. I guess the only other tidbits worth touching, Quinn Hughes is not going to be participating in the Four Nations face-off. I can't say I blame you, kid. Sidney Crosby will be there.
Yep.
But he will be. I believe they said that they will take their chances on his availability game by game.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you saw just before the team went out to dinner with Mike Madonna, Mike Ruzioni, Rob McClanahan, and Johnny Gaudreau's father, which is like, that's an electric dinner.
That's a pretty stacked dinner, honestly. I mean, listen, we might not think the Four Nations is cool. I don't think most people do, but for the players, it's definitely it's a camaraderie moment. I get it. They should enjoy it. They should have fun with it. I just picked up on the fact that the other day that half the tournament's in Montreal, the other half is in Boston. I think that's stupid. But
I considered going to a game in Boston, but it's during the week, so I said never mind.
It's during the week, and tickets are probably stupid. So
yeah, I'm not spending $200 on that.
Yeah, on a fake tournament. Thanks.
Yeah, fake tournament.
All right. So with that being said, here we are.
Here we go. Wait, Tyler, hold on. How was your Super Bowl, dude?
Probably one of the worst games I've ever watched.
Yeah. You know what? And I posted that TikTok yesterday, and it's so true. Football is unwatchable if you're watching one game. 70% of football games are boring.
You know, it's funny because, you know, I'm a Giant fan. I know you're a Patriot fan. My thing is, like, I will sit down and watch a Giants game, no matter how good or bad they are. I'll sit through the whole thing, and I'm good. After that, I could not care less about football for the rest of the day. Like, if the Giants play at 1, that game ends at 4. I don't care if friggin' Santa Claus is playing in the Sunday night football game. I won't watch it. I don't care.
Yeah, if it wasn't for fantasy and gambling, I probably wouldn't watch football at all.
You know, it's funny. I watched actually, hang tight. So I watched 2 football games this year because the Giants were just unwatchable.
Of course.
I watched the home opener where they got absolutely smacked. And I watched, I want to say it was the last Sunday night game. It was Washington, and I forgot who. But I definitely had some investment in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one reason I watched it.
You were such a dork.
I just want you to know, if I beat anybody else but you, I wouldn't have even considered it.
Yeah. You got lucky, kid.
I didn't get lucky. Actually, I got very lucky. Well, remember, that team was that was I've never not earned a championship win in fantasy so hard in my life. Because it was like Jalen Hurts was out, and I thought nothing of it, and then I was kind of like, oh, you know what? They're going into real playoffs. Like, they're not going to play him.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I got to find a quarterback. Somehow thought Drake May was the solution.
And don't forget that you won that game because of defense. Because the Eagles dropped like 20-something points fantasy-wise on the Cowboys, and the Giant, Drew Lock, turned into prime Tom Brady and dumped the Colts defense.
You know, it's funny because you picking up the Colts saved me.
crazy.
Well, because I think I even texted you. I was like, you got to the Colts defense 20 minutes before I could.
Yep.
And not getting the Colts defense, listen, getting the Colts, not getting them turned out to be the best move I didn't make. And on top of that, it was like I think I still only beat you by like 7 points.
No, you beat me by 23 points, and the Eagles defense scored 23 points.
Oh, you know why? Because we both forgot I had Kittle playing Monday night. That's why.
Yes.
Because I remember saying all he has to do is catch one pass and then leave the game.
Yeah.
So, because I'm watching, because I was watching, I watched the first quarter of that game, and I was like, okay, with my luck, he's going to catch the ball, run backwards, fumble it, and it's going to get returned for a touchdown, and I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
Because I look at every possible scenario, like how does he lose 7 points? It is a lot harder to lose 7 points in fantasy than you think it is.
Yeah.
Well, because think about it this way. Because, we're in a PPR. So for him to fumble the ball, he has to catch the ball.
This is true.
So he's getting the point, and he negates himself.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
So to lose 7 points now, after I did research and I looked at it, was next to impossible.
Hey, man.
So I was like, all right. I was like, I feel a little bit better about it. But listen, this is the sauce, not the football sauce. So
thank God.
Let's stop boring the people. Tyler Dell alongside Andrew Mikaria. Again, we cannot thank you enough for spending part of what day is today? Your Tuesday with us.
Tuesday.
And we will see you on Thursday for the midseason report cards from the Pacific Division.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.